What up? What up? Fantasy football hustler back at ya. And oh, yeah, we're talking some sleepers today. So get ready. I got 10 sleepers that you guys want to target late in your draft. All of these players are after the 90s. Okay. So getting into the 90s, hundreds, 200s, and all that. So depending on if you're in the 8, 10, 12, got you covered. Let's just get right into this. Before I get into after the 90s, I got to mention two guys that are just going right before the 90s, Trey Sermon and Michael Carter. Two rookies, may not be the starters game one, but a few games into the season, I feel like those are going to be the lead backs amongst their teams. The ADP is rising, so just want to let you know that if you are planning on getting them, you probably got to draft them a little earlier than you thought you were going to have to. First two guys coming in at ADP around the 98th positions, James Conner and Kenyan Drake. So two guys that are just kind of like blah, but if you are going with the zero RB method where you're not really drafting RBs in your first like 4 or 5 rounds, James Conner and Kenyan Drake I feel are two guys that you can kind of lean on here a little bit. I really don't think that Edmonds is going to be like the main dude. I think that Connor is going to have a little bit of a bigger role there. And I just don't think that Gruden likes Jacobs. I really don't. And if you look back at Jacobs last year, I mean, if you take his first week out, I mean, his first week was the best week of the season by far. He had like 3 TDs and like 150 yards, something like that, something crazy. I mean, outside of that, he was pretty trash the entire season. So Kenyan Drake, I know he got a little banged up in the preseason, but he's fine. He's back at practice now. So those will be two guys who, I mean, as of right now, they're like the 1Bs on their team. But I feel like James Conner, I mean, he could end up being the lead guy and getting more touches. Maybe Edmonds gets more receptions because Conner's not that dude, but I feel like Conner's going to get a lot more rush, and I feel like Kenyan Drake is going to get some red zone opportunities. Getting into the around the 110 ADP spot, AJ Dillon. Someone I'm super hyped about. If you look last year, Aaron Jones, I mean, he was getting anywhere from 45 to 55% of the snaps. I mean, usually it was under 50%. And Jamaal Williams was getting a heavy workload. I really feel like that's going to be AJ Dillon. I don't think it's going to be their rookie who's getting a bunch of run. He's going to have his own like standalone flex value. I really feel like he's going to get used. I mean, anywhere from 30 to 40% of the snaps, just right off the bat. We shall see, but I'm liking where he's going in drafts around 110 ADP. Getting later and later. And when we get around the 140s, I'm looking for Gus Edwards. We already know when it's the fourth quarter, when it's grind time, it's Gus bust time. And I really feel like with the extended season, this year going 17 games instead of 16, I feel like the teams are going to compensate, the workload a little bit. And I feel like a guy like J.K. Dobbins, I mean, although he has the higher upside, when it comes to grinding out the clock, I feel like it's going to be Gus Edwards who is going to be that dude. So I really feel like he's someone who I want to target in my drafts, and I feel like he's going to have his own standalone flex value, and we know they like using him, in the red zone. So Gus Edwards around the 140s, someone I'm definitely targeting later in drafts. Now getting into like the 149, 150 range, Phillip Lindsay is my favorite running back to grab. I really feel like Phillip Lindsay is going to be the first and second down back there. He's got hands like frying pans, so in a PPR league, he's not going to be getting that many receptions, but if he is in there on 1 and 2 and he's the lead back and he's flirting with 1,000 yards by the end of the season, we've already seen him do that in Denver. David Johnson, I mean, they're saying that he's going to have like the Duke Johnson role. So someone that, I'm off, he's really fallen down in my ranks, but Phillip Lindsay, for where you can get him, I love the value. Someone that you will easily be able to mix into your flex right away. All right, I talked about Jamaal Williams earlier when we were talking about the Packers, and now he is a Detroit Lion. Swift, he is already banged up. So Jamaal Williams, you can get him around the 148 ADP range. He, some games is going to be the 1A, and Swift is going to be the 1B. They already said that they're going to take the hot hand approach. We know that Jamaal Williams, he can run, he can catch, he can do a little bit of everything. And I feel like he's getting a lot of the work in camp because Swift is hurt. And the coaches already said they were going to ride the hot hand approach. So he's someone who I'm definitely trying to target later in drafts because I really don't like Swift. And I think Swift is going to bust. So Jamaal Williams, go pick him up. Now hanging around the 160 range, J.D. McKissic, someone who was a PPR darling last year. And I know what everybody's going to say, like, oh, but Alex Smith, he was check down Charlie. That's why he got so many targets and he's not going to get them. No, that is not why he got so many targets. It's literally baked into their offense. Do we not remember that it's the coaching regime that had CMC just a couple years ago? Like all of those, they're not even check down passes. It's literally designed passes, designed screens, designed little dump offs. Like it's all baked in there within the offense. And I feel like Gibson and McKissic both can easily go for 5 receptions a game. I feel like they're both going to have at least 5 targets a game. So McKissic is someone who I think is going to have his own standalone value, just like he did last year. And even with Fitzpatrick, it doesn't matter. You saw what they were doing in the preseason. They're throwing the ball and they're getting it down there, checking it down, and it's not a check down because it's baked into the offense. So JD McKissic around the 160s range, I'm loving it. All right, now we are getting really low here. So around the 185, 187 range, Gio Bernard, someone who the Tampa Bay Bucks really love. And it's because Leonard Fournette, he sucks at pass protection. Ronald Jones sucks at pass protection. Keyshawn Vaughn.
Oh, Keyshawn!
Horrible at pass protection. And that is something that Gio Bernard has done well for a lot of years. Veteran running back who's going to be in there on third down. Veteran running back who got a lot of catches and targets when he was with the Bengals. So I expect him to be the third down back for the Bucks. I expect him on random games to have a little bit of flex appeal, because if he's getting some catches every single game and he's that third down back, yeah, he's going to make some waves. And to get him around the 187 range, I mean, he's literally free. I got 2 more guys on the list here. Before we get into the last 2, I got to remind everybody about a brand new partner of the show, the Nafuloo token. If you guys are not into crypto, let me help you out, because this is it's pretty much like a penny stock that we got a little bit of intel on, except it's trading for way less than 1 penny right now. You can buy it for way less. So look in the description of the video. I have a link of how you can go buy this crypto token. You want to get on it right now. You really need the needle just to move a little bit, and that's it. And your investment is going to be going up right away. If you want to get in on something while it's small that has a lot of growth potential, get in on it now. The Nafuloo token, look in the description of the video. There's a YouTube video that breaks it down, how you can buy it, what app you need to get, the crypto wallet. So go check it out. Really appreciate it, guys. They're a big time sponsor of the show. We got to take care of them. I'm taking care of them. I already invested into some tokens, so make sure you go get it. Now, the final 2 running backs that we're talking about here, both on the same team, both on the Patriots, James White and Rhamondre Stevenson, both free. James White, 202 ADP, Stevenson, 226 ADP. Now, the reason why I feel like you got to target these guys late, these would be like the last pick, on your team. James White. We know that Cam Newton is check down Charlie when it comes to the red zone, and nobody is there who is in that role. Rex Burkhead's gone. James White is really the only guy who's like pass catching back, out of the backfield, really good at pass protection. I really like him for where he's going. I've already grabbed him, on a few teams that I got really late. Someone you can target late in your draft. He should be involved early in the season. Yes, pick him up. And then Rhamondre Stevenson, I mean, this guy is 1 injury away from being, the bell cow running back here. I mean, he's been shredding teams in the preseason. We know that Bill Belichick's going to want to get him in there. I mean, obviously, Damian Harris, is the guy to own, at least there right now. But Rhamondre Stevenson is looking so good. I removed Damian Harris from this list because I feel like even though Damian Harris is right around the 100s ADP, Rhamondre Stevenson at 226, that is a lot sexier to me. That, I mean, that's free. Doesn't matter if you're in a 10-man, 12-man. I mean, that is going towards the end, of your drafts. If you're in a 12-man league and you got some good competition in there, you may want to draft him a little bit quicker, than your very last round, just because a lot of people are on him. But yeah, definitely go pick him up. All right, guys, that's my sleeper video. We got every position coming out with some late round picks for you guys, getting you ready for your drafts that are going to be starting in the next week or 2. But yeah, if you're not following me yet, make sure you subscribe. We're going to be doing a lot of question and answer sessions leading up to the season, a lot in the season. So much information is going to be coming out on the channel. We're going to have waiver wires every Monday. We're going to have starts and sits every Tuesday. Wednesday through Sunday, we got start and sit question and answer sessions. On Tuesday, I'm going to be doing a waiver wire question and answer session. And Monday through Friday, get ready. Fantasy News Today. Brand new show that I'm going to be hosting with Bogart, Scott Free, my man IDP Iggy is going to be making some appearances every now and again. My man TD from Fantasy Good Sports is going to be making some appearances, and a bunch of other people too. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a little 30 or 40 minute segment in the early afternoons every single day, you know, maybe about 4 or 5 hours after the Matt Berry and the Fantasy Footballers podcast drop. So we're going to be making sure that you got all the news as it's breaking during the week. All righty, guys. Appreciate you. I will see you next video.
You ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Show me the money.
Oh, you didn't know?
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling.
Put my shoes on, you wouldn't last a mile. Summertime, wintertime, I'm on the grind. Yeah, I got the ring, I'm the champ, I'm the genie of the lamp.
This is the gift I was given, so I just live by my hustle.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Yeah.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Yeah.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Yeah.
VIP me put in my pocket, it don't make sense, but don't make a profit. So I hustle, ladies and homies, make money, money, money.
All out here for a pill. When he tryna get this money for the real.
I want to find the things in my life, so I hustle.
It ain't over for me. No, it ain't over for me.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Show me the money!
Okay, let's go smoke that joint.